free and dive into the sky. Hear the wind crying out its prayer. Why are we so ashamed to be alive? Break the chains and our freedom's ours to take.
Right then, so you join me on another angling adventure. It's Saturday and I decided to have a change of scenery. I've come down back to my hometown to fish one of the estate lakes. It's just down the road from where I used to live. Now it's been probably a good couple of years since I fished this lake. Had a really good time down here. It's pretty much where I kind of learned to get back into carp fishing and stuff again. It was on my doorstep and it was, you know, a cheap ticket and held a number of fish, so I've decided to come down here today and give it another bash, like I say, just for a change of scenery. And you know, there are a few little stunning fish in here as well. So it's about 7:45 now. It's quite foggy and I've had to wait a little while for that to lift just so I can see where I'm putting out my rods and stuff. So I've got everything else set up. Like I say, I've got the rods sorted and just waiting for that to clear a little bit, and the rods have gone out now. Down the sort of deeper end of the lake, where there's sort of like an overflow, and you get depths of about 6 foot down here. The other one's tight up to the main island that also sits sort of in the middle perimeter of the lake, which does hold fish at this time of year, and probably the best part of the year anyway. They just go around and control the island. So I've got one off the island and one just off the dam overflow as well. Like I say, it's a deeper water. I had a little feel of the water this morning. It does feel pretty cold. I think up until yesterday, until we've had that rain, the lake was actually frozen over the best part of it. So that's all thawed out now. It's a really mild morning. I think it's pushing 9-10 degrees. So hoping that just, you know, a few extra degrees in the water might just switch them on and get them mooching around. But like I say, I've got my 2 rods in 2 different areas of the lake. There's a couple of people down to my left, where I was originally going to go, but overhanging trees and stuff like that made it a bit of an issue trying to cast out where I wanted to go. So I've just dropped in a couple of swims down and fish into a couple of areas that I know have produced fish in the past. Rig wise, I've just gone with hinge stiff rigs. Again, it's an estate lake, it's a silty bottom, leaves, God knows what could be in here, to be quite honest. So I just wanted a bait that's sat above all that bottom debris. And yeah, I've gone with 2 hinge stiff rigs. So I've gone with a white manila pop-up on one, and your standard sort of brownie colour manila pop-up on the other one. And just going to rove the rods around. I've sprayed the rigs with the manila spray, sprayed the leads, just adding any sort of attraction I can into the lake and just in and around my rig area. So yeah, just going to keep those rods roving and see what I can find. Apologies if the noise to my right hand side is dulling the sound of my voice, but there is a main road that runs up along this side of the lake. So fingers crossed you can hear me all right. But just going to kick back now and have a brew, and just hope this fog lifts. Keep my eyes out for any shows, which are pretty minimal, to be quite honest, if any at all. And yeah, we're just going to go and see what the morning's all about. There's a lot of options and a lot of swims around the lake, so if I need to move I can. I'm travelling really light. Everything, as you can see, is on the barrow behind me. It's just got a brolly chucked over it because there's a bit of drizzle, getting everything wet this morning. So yeah, just going to play it by ear. I've got the daylight hours, you can fish till dark here. So so yeah, let's see what the day's all about, and I'll keep you updated through the day. Right, so it's about 9:30, and the rods have been out sort of 45 minutes to an hour tops. Nothing's occurred yet, but the fog's lifted and stuff, so I've got a bit more better visibility of the lake. Just really wanted to talk you through a bit about the lake and stuff really. Now, it's called Peakmore Lake. It's based in the west side of Swindon, and it's an estate lake. You've got sort of restaurants and shops on one side, with, you know, housing estate further down. It's your typical sort of estate lake. It's about 6 acres in size, give or take, and it's just a real silty venue. typical sort of, could be a trolley or two in here, a few bikes, who knows. But like I say, it's about 6 acres in size, and there's an island in the middle, which you can probably make out over there. That takes up a good chunk of the middle of the water, and kind of you can fish it from pretty much most pegs in this vicinity of this end of the lake. A lot of the fish do get around that island, and in places it probably goes back a good 6-8 foot. So they've got a lot of sanctuary, a lot of places to hide, and they can make their way around that island, picking up bits and pieces where they want to. So there's always a good chance of a take off that island at some point. Now, as I said, I'm fishing down in a double swim, which is right next to the main road. You've got a main dam just over there, with a bit of open water, and obviously you've got a bit of access to that corner of that island if the fish do make their way round. So I've got my right hander over on the dam wall, a left hander just off the tip of the island. It's approximately, like I say, 5 or 6 foot at best down here, and it is the deeper end of the lake. If you follow the lake down just into these next couple of swims, the kind of shallower end beach area of the lake is down there. Now it's kind of, I don't know, 2 to 4 foot in places. A lot cleaner down there than it is sort of up this end. And just to the left, there's like a corner bay that goes round, and up in the summer, in the warmer months, they absolutely love it round there. You can literally pick them off one by one as they're making their way up and down along that reed line. And also up in sort of a car park area, there's a nice little bay, and they just creep in and along the reeds. So if you just drop little bags tight up against the reeds and just sit tight, and you can usually pick 1 or 2 off there. So yeah, you've got another little bay area just going around the corner of the island, around this side, which is again a real good spot for some summer fishing. The sun absolutely beats in on there, and it's flat, calm. It's protected from, like I say, from the bank, and obviously from the island as well. So it's a real good sunbathing spot for the fish, and you can usually see them cruising in and out. So like I say, it's about 9:30 at the moment. Probably going to give it to about, I don't know, 11, half 11 tops, and then look at moving. I've got a couple of people down to my left already, and not really feeling the amount of lines that's going out in this area of the lake, to be honest. I'm probably going to go and move around the other side of the island, like I say, into that little bay area, and maybe fish one up to the island, and just fish one actually into the bay itself. But yeah, just going to play it by ear for the next hour or so and see what's what. Obviously if anything happens, then I'll come back to you then, and if not, obviously I'll speak to you in my next available swim of choice. So yeah, fingers crossed, and I'll speak to you soon. You're never going to believe this. A few gulls have been swarming around the area, and 2 just flew overhead quite close into the bank, and down there on that snag, 2 fish just like kind of rolled on the surface. Now I can't 100% be sure that they were carp, but I definitely saw orange tinge to the fish and the show that I saw. There's one just in front of the snag and one just to the left, so I don't know if there are a couple of fish in there just underneath the surface, and obviously the presence of the seagulls swarming overhead just spooked him a little bit. But there's definitely a couple of fish down there. So I've whipped in the left-hand rod from the island over here and drops it onto the snag. I've just put a little small sprinkle in the bait just down on the front, nothing too mental, just in case they are still there. And yeah, fingers crossed. Well, it's the most I've seen all morning, and if it's literally under my rod tips, then might be with a chance of having a fish. So just going to sit it out for an hour, I think, just down here, sit it out for an hour and just see if anything happens. But it's the most I've seen all morning, so let's see what happens, and I'll come back to you. so as you can see I've moved swims, just weren't happening over there. I give it a few hours, and yeah, apart from seeing you know, I don't know whether it's carp or pike down in that margin, I give it an hour after putting a rod down there and just nothing materialised. So I decided to up sticks and move round to a more quieter area of the lake. Now this area hasn't got any lines in it whatsoever, and just got mine led on a deck at the moment. Obviously because of the platform it's hard to get any sticks in, but what I've done is just got one down to the right hand side just off that snaggy tree, and I've just punched one out as sort of over to the island. It's not tight. I did stick one in the tree just before the second cast, but managed to retrieve everything and drop the lead, which is good. But yeah, the left-hander went straight out in front to the island, probably like half a rod length off. But casting is really hard, obviously due to this lot up here. You've got literally a couple of foot to overhead one out, so yeah, it's not ideal. But that one down there, just put a little handful of bait over the top of that snag, and like I say, the left one's straight out. So just going to give it an hour in here. Not going to waste a load of time in this swim, but I think if they're here and you know there is a fish or two in the area, then I'll just put a rod on their head and you know something should happen. But yeah, we'll give it a go. Gonna get some food on the go and just kick back for an hour, just stay back away from the water's edge, and like I say, after that hour I'm just going to move down into one of the more open swims and punch a couple over to the island and see that out down there for the rest of the day. So yeah, fingers crossed, we might be able to nick one out of here. If not, we'll try in the next swim. So I'll catch up with you shortly. So I'm in my first swim of the day, and I think this is going to be the last swim before it gets dark, around sort of 4:30, 5 o'clock. Now both rods are out. I took a few casts on one of them just to ease it into a little snaggy area which is just behind me. 3 casts just to peel off a bit of line with each one, just so I could get a little bit of elastic around the line in the chance of you know, hooking a fish. I can get the rod back out there in the same sort of area. You know, didn't want to go hanging one in the tree, so I just eased in gently, and like I say, yeah, got some elastic on the line. So both rods are out, and I just want to go through with you the rigs that I use, or what I used to use down there a couple of years ago. Now, like I say, it's quite a silty bottom in this one. Obviously it's a state lake, there's all sorts on the bottom there, so I don't want any of my baits plunging into the sill or just, you know, disappearing into the depths of whatever's down there. So I tend to go for the pop-up rigs, and one that I used with quite good success when I was fishing down there before is this real simple pop-up rig. Now, I was watching one of the Corda videos, and I think Darryl Peck was using it over in Belgium, and I just thought to myself, something just clicked, and I just thought, why do I not use something so similar and something so basic? So it's literally a real simplistic version of a hinge stiff rig. It's just Corda semi-stiff, pretty much all the way straight through. The only part of it that's stripped is the actual hair off the back of the hook. The coating remains on when you're whipping it round, so just literally knotless knot onto the shank of the hook, coating all the way through down to the BB shot, which counterbalances the pop-up perfectly, and it doesn't literally, you know, the lead doesn't go in, and that drills down in as well. It flutters down, and it's quite a slow sinker, so perfect for this sort of venue where you don't want it going straight into the silt, you just want it to go down and rest gently. Just cover that with a bit of foam, and it gives you enough time just to pull the lead out if it does plug in. I tend to just feel it down if I can, and then give it sort of a couple of seconds and just ease the lead back out in case it has, you know, gone in an inch or two into the actual lake bed. So yes, Corda 20 pound semi-stiff all the way through, knotless knot onto the back of the hook, BB shot, a little break in the coating just above the counterbalance weight, just to give the rig a bit of movement, and just overhand knot tied at the end with a little mini kicker there just to help with pushing the bait away from the lead. It's such an easy rig to tie, and you literally need no components for it whatsoever. And like I say, I caught plenty of fish out of this place on it because it's just perfect for balancing out over the top of the silt on the lake bed there. This one that I've put out again is with a pink sticky signature, and that's been glugged with signature spray, etc. So they smell really sweet, and they'll give off attraction for hours, so perfect for recasting every so often. So that's what's out on the left hand rod. And the other one I'm going to use is just a hinge stiff rig that I use pretty much everywhere else. The boom again is made out of quarter semi-stiff, 20 pounds, just tied obviously directly onto the ring swivel at the end of the hinge stiff. Now it's balanced down again with putty so that it literally sinks really slowly. Again, I don't want it plunging into the silt. Pink krill pop up on this one, because when I used to fish it before, I used to have really good success on pink. I had the biggest one out of the lake on pink 3 times, and numerous other fish on pink as well. So with the water being so murky and it being so, clarity of the water and light penetration on the water is pretty minimal, I want something that's quite pungent and something that's visible down there as well. So I've opted for pink just because of recent past success and recent success on other waters. And what's better than a pink krill pop-up? This again has been sprayed with the krill bait spray over many weeks, so although they're really good on their own, just adding a little spray, just a very light coating to soak and dry in over time, really adds another element of attraction to your hook bait. So that's just going to leak off slowly. Both baits are out there. Again, it's just a matter of whether they're up for a feed or not. I'm going to sit it out in this swim until dark. So I've had a lot of success in the past down here, fishing after work, just coming down for evening sessions, and end up nicking a fish, just before dark. It took a lot of time for me to figure out, the wasting days down here was not the one really, and just coming down for afternoon sessions after work was the way forward. So there's always a chance that I might just get a pickup off one of the rods. So I'm going to sit it out, fingers crossed for a fish, and obviously if anything happens then I'll come back to you and get down here and give it a go yourself. Right then, as you can tell, the car's all packed up now. It's just gone 5 o'clock. I tried to milk it for as long as possible in hope that I'd get that just on dusk bite, but it didn't happen. I had a line on the right hander sort of about, I don't know, 15 minutes before having to pack up, and obviously as you do, you leave the rods out till the last thing, and just nothing materialised. One or two might venture out through the night, but they certainly seem to be holding up today. There's no action whatsoever from as far as I'm aware around the lake. So this cold snap seems to have really put them on the slowdown. But it was nice to come back. Like I said, I haven't been back here for a good couple of years now, and I had a really good successful run on this place for a couple of seasons that I fished it. So I'm not too disappointed, to be honest. What I'll do at the end of the video is I'll put up a few of the pictures of some of the crackers that are in here, just so you know really what kind of stock and stuff's in here. So I'll put a few pictures up at the end. In regards to tickets and stuff, I'm not too sure if I mentioned it earlier in any of the other videos, but you can get them from any of the tackle shops in Swindon. So you've got Hinders, you've got Fishing Republic. So you can go to any one of those tackle shops and buy the tickets. They're £5 I believe for adults. So, and you can fish obviously 2 rods on that as well. So what I'll do in the description below, I'll put all the links and stuff to the Pete Moore Angling page, and the fishing shops and stuff like that, and just try and give you as much info on the places as I can. So thanks for watching anyway. Obviously it hasn't been successful on the fishing front, but at least it gives you an insight to the fishery itself. But until next time, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Cheers.